Have a pleasant day to each one of you, especially to Mom Kiber. Before I start, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Nina Angelie D. Virtudazo, a BSHM2A student. And for today, I will tackle about the chapter 9 entitled Organization for Production. And under of this is the manufacturing. So at the end of the discussion, learners will able to first distinguish the manufacturing aspect, and the other one is to determine the types of production processes and to know the importance of control system upon operating such production. And the last one is learners will able to be knowledgeable of the factors that involved in manufacturing. So production or manufacturing, it is concerned with the making of things, also the creation of form, utility, and according to some articles that manufacturing is described as the making by hands. So the function of manufacturing is to change raw materials or secondary materials into a more useful form or state. So, kani siya, ang manufacturing, for example, um, ang tree, ang tree is a raw materials and or the primary materials in order to come up to a very useful form. Like for instance, ang tree or trees kay mo ni siya ang raw materials and then himuon ni siya like through production himuon ni siya or i-undergo ni siya process to come up like for instance papers or any chairs baron or whatsoever. And also um, one of the function of manufacturing as well is changing of the nature of the material or a changing or its form or both. So as what I've mentioned earlier na ang tree, certain tree will undergo some processes in order to come up with a papers or a chair. So finance is essential to both manufacturing and selling. So when we say finance, nanadiri ang money. So ang money, we all know that mao jud ni siya ang pinaka main component why that um, manufacturing and selling kay um, naka-involve. So in the Philippines, we all know that Philippines is a very vast land. So one of the source of income here in the Philippines is the agriculture. So agriculture in the Philippines has the biggest sector in the economy's production pattern and contributed 34% to total production in the year 1963. So there are types of production processes. So um, we have two classifications of production processes. So first, we will focus on the first classification, which is the types of production. So first is extractive process. So when we say extractive process, it is one of extracting substances from the earth or the sea. So, like for instance, like mining sa gold, copper, lead, or silver, like that. And then, let's move forward to number two process, which is the analytical process. One in which a basic substance is broken down into a number of other materials. And number three is synthetic process. Industries in which a number of different materials are combined to form a single product. Number four is fabricating process. It refers to a process that is rather widespread in industry wherein a material has its form changed to some extent by being machined, woven, cut up, pressed, finished or treated in some other manner. So, fabricating mo ni siya sometimes gitawag sa disiyag converting processes. So, now we will move forward to the second classification of production processes, which is the continuous and intermittent process. So first is the continuous process. It is sometimes used to describe a manufacturing situation in which the productive facilities must be kept continuously in operation for relatively long periods of time. So, um, nanatay hint nga when we say continuous, so padayon gud ang iyang proseso sa pagmanufacture. Then number 2 is intermittent process. So it refers to any manufacturing process that can be stopped at will and that can be started up again the next day with no difficulty. So unlike sa continuous, tuloy-tuloy ang iyang process. Wherein sa intermittent, pwede siyang ma-stop and then pwede sad siyang ma-continue nga walay kabilinggan nga sa iyang pag-continue upon stopping. So, let's move forward to increasing production. So in this kind of production or in this type of production, there are 4 processes in such production that been used to good advantage in marketing, transportation, office management, and other business functions. So first is specialization. So it refers to the narrowing of the field of activity. It may be applied to processes, equipment, or labor skill. Number 2 is simplifications. It refers to the reduction in the number of types, sizes, forms, designs, colors, and other characteristics of a product. So when we say simplification, from the root word simplify. So kani siya pangwaon gud kanang like hashasan gud ang kung kins or unsa ang mga best types upon or upon manufacturing. Number 3 is standardization. It refers to the setting of standards or norms as to size, quality, form, measure, weight, or other similar feature. And also it enables interchange of parts. Number 4 is mechanization. It refers to the development of machines to perform much of the manufacturing process as possible. So, PERT, it is called, the PERT is introduced in the year 1968. So, mao ni siya ang tawag sa method of production scheduling, PERT. It is a controlling technique and also a network consisting of a pictorial description that comprise a project. So, network path, it is a series of related events and activities from the beginning to the end of the network. So, ang PERT is advantageous for non-repetitive or non-routine projects. So, it is being used in research and development projects. So, the followings are the component where PERT really helps. First is PERT helps to focus attention on potential problems in a project. Number 2, reasonably predicts the attainment of project objectives. And number 3 is evaluate progress towards this attainment. And the last one is to indicate feasible adjustment in related activities to improve overall project accomplishment. So, let's now hop into factors involved in manufacturing. So first is the design. It may be standard, static, and unchanging as in some articles of staple merchandise. So the followings are the requirements of design. First is the consumer acceptance. So the article must appeal consumers' taste or desires. Number 2 is utility. The product shall adequately serve the purpose for which it is intended. It must be useful. And then the third one is economic processing. The design of an article should not be a cause for the use of uneconomical manufacturing processes. So we all know that in every manufacturer, dili man jud na sila mo manufacture or maghimo og production once nga dili na siya magamit, dili na siya like walay purpose siya nga kanang ihimo na siya or production na siya. And then the other one is the kind of material to be used. It must suit the materials of which the article is to be made. So number two, that or the number two factors that involved in manufacturing is the choice of materials. So there are under of it as well. First is utility or purpose. Article may have ever or have either a utility purpose or decorative one. Sometimes both. And then the other one is durability. The choice of durable materials is desirable. And then the next one is cost of development and manufacturing. So management must be able to envisage a return on the product that is commensurate with the cost of development. So number three, or the last factor that involved in manufacturing, is the processing. It requires machine and labor. The proportion of each is seldom the same in the manufacture of two different products. So let's focus now to the trend to automaticity. So it is the tendency in machine designs is to make machines more automatic in their operation so that less labor is required. And the advantage also of this automaticity is the more automatically in an operation, or the more automatic that machine towards the operation, the less labor is required, and consequently the less costly they will be. So um 'di ba sa mga manufacturers right now, kay unlike before is mano-mano, manual, like manpower nga na manginahanglan pod, though napagihapon ang manpower up until now, but then murag nangita na sila mga machines to handle that certain operation para maless ang ilahang um wages towards the um employees nga magtrabaho ana or sa ilahang production nga area. So most of the companies right now propose some automatic machines in order um make their products easier and kanabitang tuloy-tuloy gihapon bisan pa og kanang there's an absence of the manpower. So the other one is layout influences production. Refers to the arrangement of machines and equipment in any kind of work according to the sequence of operations. So efficiency of labor has a marked effect on price and market, a complex quality that is based on many factors. So once nga efficient ka towards the labor, then um there's a great possibility nga kani siya kay makaapekto jud po ni siya sa price and the market of that certain product. So the other one is the necessity for continued operation. With effective machines and equipment and with efficient employees and workers, the manufacturer should realize that this remaining successful in business depends upon his ability to continue to produce what is needed in the market at a price the customer is willing to pay. And the cost of materials and labor affect the price equally, so will idleness or idleness. So the following are the control of production. First, it signifies the management of manufacturing. And then the other one is it is concerned with the aspect of time, place, and quantity. The other one is it uses all the information in dictating what is to be made, where is to be made, and how is to be made. And the next one is it also furnishes the specifications, instructional details, and paperwork necessary to carry out those plans. The other one is it is used as a gauge in tracing waste, loss, and many business failures. And the last one is it serves as powerful and profitable mechanism when properly applied. So we all know that in every production there is a control out of it. Kay once nga dili na nimo ma-control ng imong pag-continue sa operation sa production, then there's a great instance nga ma-fail, or there's like mga hindrances or circumstances nga moabot kanang dili maagapan dayon once nga dili nimo makontrol. So kailangan in every production there's a controlling system sad nga kanang mag-manage ana para maka profit sad ang company. So steps in production control. Production control consists a well-defined set of procedures that has an objective, the coordination of all the elements of production into a smoothly flowing whole, resulting in the fabrication of products with a minimum of interruption at the earliest possible time and the lowest possible cost. And production control is performed to assist in utilizing designated materials, machines, and men for the proper amount of time and at the right time. The manufacturing process, made up of various sequential production operations, is determined in production planning. So the following are the essential production data utilized in production control. So first is routing. It concerns the establishment of the path which the production will take in its travel through the plant. It sets forth the operation to be performed and the sequence to be followed. And then the other one is scheduling. The assigning of clock or calendar times for carrying out the various operations. It can be thought of as the time use coordinator, which seeks to have many operations properly synchronized. And then last one is dispatching, and it emphasizes correcting the deviation, if any, and it includes giving of work authorization to proceed with specific batches of works at specific times, securing reports on work progress, and granting the authority to move materials from one area of the factory to the other. And then if we have this control in production, we also have inventory control, so, or the control of inventory, closely allied to production control, as what I've mentioned earlier, and often part of it is the control of inventories, and it covers raw materials inventories, goods in process inventories, unfinished stocks inventories, and lastly the supplies inventories. And this kind of control as well will avoid unnecessary waste. It is not only prevent wastage and minimizes theft, but also facilitates cost accounting of the manufacturing process. So effective control of inventory is aimed at ensuring that an adequate but not excessive bulk of materials is on hand at all times to meet operating requirements. And then the quality control. The manufacturing end of a business is not only responsible for production, for producing quickly at a reasonably low cost, but is likewise responsible for the quality of the product. And Quality is controlled by having precise specifications and necessary inspections of the product to see that the specifications is or are adhered to. Quality is maintained through inspection as well. So, the last one is the maintenance. The smooth functioning of the entire operating department is virtually dependent upon the effective operation of the men behind the scenes, which are the maintenance workers. So in every department of such company or such production area, there should or must have a maintenance workers. Like for instance, in the hotel, so, kanang hotel, once nga mag-operate na siya, dili na siya mahimong um, smooth ang dagan sa operation once nga ang maintenance or maintenance workers dili mo approve nga kani siya ang specific area sa hotel kay all is well. Like, goods na ang tanan. Kay kani sila ang maintenance, repairs and maintenance nga department, mao jud ni siya ang usa sa pinaka top nga department para magpadayon ang operation in a very long run and also smooth ang dagan sa operation. Kay mao man na siya basihan para or basihan sa pagstay sa guest. Kay for example, ang certain room sa hotel kanang naanay mo check in, but then ang maintenance, kung walay maintenance, we don't know nga na guba day ang something datong kanang ang CR didto wala din yung function and nga na ba. So kailangan ang department nga which is the repair and maintenance department, mo jud ni siya ang pinaka importante sad in operating such business or in production area. So, to end my discussion, I just want to tell you something that we must be responsible in all aspects of our life. So, with this, or if we are being responsible towards our thoughts and actions, then there's a great instances or there's a great possibility that we are the one nga makapa-attain or will gear some progress towards ourselves and also to the company or establishment that we are taking in the future. So I guess that could be all. Thank you and may God bless us all.